lot more powerful.
All right. Hey, everyone. I'm just going to go right up front and let you know it could get a little bit loud, and not just because we're super excited about Medicare, but I've got like some major construction going on the other side of the wall here. So I'm super excited to have my pal and boot camp coach, Dr. Robin, with me. Welcome, welcome.
Hi.
And Dr. Robin is in Kansas. It's as flat as it is mountainous around here. So we definitely live in two completely different places. And here's what I want you to do. Like, don't just like sit in the audience. Be active. So when you join, pop in something in the comment section. Like, I don't know, what are you grateful for today? What's terrific about your Tuesday? Or tell us something good. You can even share your story about Medicare if you want down below. And that's where we're going to start today. So Dr. Robin, well, I'm going to let her tell the story because she's better than I am. Hey, look at who's there. It's our sister, Dr. Michelle, rocking on in Iowa. So can you just imagine what it's going to be like next week when we all see each other? There's going to be like so much screaming. And like, I can't even believe it. And there's Dr. Athena. Woo woo. We got.
I've already started packing. I've already got my suitcase out and packing.
So you know when I pack after I take a shower before I go to the airport.
Oh. No.
Oh my goodness! Look who's there, Shauna McLean. Is she not like killing it?
She's killing it. God, she just started.
Woo woo. Woo, woo. That's awesome. Dr. Shauna, I think Myra probably reached out to you today to do one of these. Dr. Michelle, we've done a whole bunch. Dr. Athena, watch it. We're coming for you. So, yeah, hey, there's Dr. Nicole. Welcome. All right, so let's just jump in. Let's first start and tell the story of where you were at in your life when we met.
Which was just almost a year ago now. So at that point, about a year ago, I was just pretty close to quitting the profession. I was fed up with what was going on, and my practice was suffering because I was just sick and tired of it. The day-to-day stuff that goes on that just brings you down every day. And I mean, which there was a lot of stuff that had built up to that point, but really a year ago when I first talked to you, I was on the verge of stepping down and finding something else to do.
Why?
Because, long story that I'm going to start just kind of shortly is, let's see, 6 years ago, I just started on a Medicare audit. Medicare, that was their first contact with me, and they sent me a letter, and they wanted to look at some of my stuff. And that was 6 years ago. 2012 is when all this started. So long story short there, and I will get into this a little bit more later, but in 2012 until I talked to you last year, well, even currently, I mean, I'm still stuck in this Medicare audit cycle. It's still not done yet. So as you can probably imagine, it wears you down a little bit. I was discouraged. I was disgusted. My business started showing it, and I had to turn things around, or else I was going to be done.
So let's talk about, I can't even imagine that kind of fear. But does the fear lift because you're like, all right, we're all afraid of an audit, but now I'm in it, and so I'm not afraid? Or is it still like that daily fear of, oh crap, what are they going to find now? Or is it not like that?
At this point where I'm at, I have
back
then. I did have a little bit of fear of an audit. But the doc that I was working with, and I was an associate and, taking over the practice, at that time, he was like, we're fine. I've passed a Medicare audit before. That, who knows how many years ago that was. He was like, what we do is fine. Yeah. We take really good notes. You're going to be fine. It's going to be fine. So I continued doing what I was told to do. And, we were successful and we made a lot of money until, he started retiring and I started taking on all of his patients, which kind of made me an outlier. I was seeing not only my Medicare patients, but I was also starting to see his. So that really made me an outlier and it really kind of threw a red flag on me. And so he was kind of out of the picture at that point. So I'm the one that got the audit. And at first, they started asking for stuff and I was like, it's cool. We're good. We've got good notes. We got everything sent in. And the first time that they asked for stuff, it took about 9 months. And they responded finally after 9 months of sending this stuff in. We're thinking, okay, it's cool. We're going to just keep doing what we're doing. And after 9 months, they responded back and they said, we think that you're doing maintenance care or what you're doing is not medically necessary. So stop doing that. And I was like, well, okay, I don't know what at that point made them think that. So, we tried to change some things up. And then about another 6 months later, they sent another request for notes. And then another 6 months after that, again, they said, we think you're doing maintenance care. Stop doing that. It's like, why won't anybody, but nobody would give you any feedback. We just had no idea what was going on.
Oh.
Finally, there was in November of 2014, we had sent in, our weekly claims. My insurance lady sends in our claims at the beginning of every week. And so she sent the stuff in, and a week later we got, and I'm not even kidding you, it was a stack like 10 inches tall of letters from Medicare, because you get an individual letter for every single date of service that you send in. So we got this stack. The mailman came in literally with a stack of letters from Medicare, and every one of them says, before we pay you on this, we want to see your documentation on it. So, we took, and you have 30 days to get that stuff in. So we had to take, we had to go through and get all of the documentation gathered up for those that week worth of claims and sent them in, which, I mean, when you're doing it, there's a lot of stuff that they ask for, but so we got this stuff turned in, and 3 months later, they're still asking for notes because we haven't gotten any feedback yet, and they start denying stuff and saying, no, your notes aren't good enough, you're not getting paid. And that went on for 180 days. We did not get paid by Medicare for 180 days. And so we kept asking for feedback, and every once in a while they'd give us little pieces, and then they'd say, oh, no, we don't have to do that, because this is a contracted company. It's not Medicare themselves. They hire contractors to do this kind of stuff. And so we would ask for feedback, and they would say, we don't have to give you that information. That's not our job. Well, whose job is it? Well, I don't know. It's not mine. So actually, we went almost an entire year without a Medicare payment because we couldn't get the feedback. We didn't know what was wrong with the documentation. What we ended up doing actually was holding all of our Medicare claims. So we'd send a little bit at a time, wait for the feedback on that. And then we would kind of take those pieces and kind of piece things together. Finally, we got it. We figured out the magic combination, and we started getting paid on everything. So my last audit that was about a little over a year ago, we finally 100% have been approved of everything that we send in. So that's where we're at now.
And do they back pay you all of that they held up?
As long as it hadn't been denied, we held all of those claims for a year. We didn't even send them in. So then once we got released from the prepayment audit, then we started flooding with with that whole year's worth of claims. Since we weren't on the prepayment denials, then we did get paid for those eventually, but it took a year to get them.
And now everything is back in copacetic?
Yes.
So you're not on Medicare's most wanted list?
Well, I might be getting back on there because I now that I know how to play their game and I know, I know what it takes to pass the audit, and I've got my confidence back and I'm not scared of them anymore. My Medicare billings have picked up quite a bit, and every time they ask for documentation, I pass their audit. So I might be on their most wanted list because I know because I know how to screw them back.
So I'm just going on record for saying that's how we roll in the boot camp. We learn. We never lose. We either win or we learn. So when we learn, look out, because we are going to keep winning. You can't beat us, which is exactly why Dr. Robin is one of the coaches in the boot camp. So, we all believe in the boot camp that all of our experiences, Shauna said, boom. Yeah. And hey, Katie, welcome. It's so nice to see you, girlfriend. We help each other. That's what we do in the boot camp. That like, here's the situation, and here's the situation, and here's the situation, and how would you guys handle this? Or this is how I handled that. And I think the whole insurance thing is kind of scary for a lot of people. And so we live in no fear in the boot camp. And if we don't know how to do something, we reach out to one another and we get the help. So let's talk about the awesome week that you created in the boot camp. And can't remember now Dr. Jessie. So of course we're going to have to mention Dr. Jessie here by the end of the broadcast.
Rock star. I'm loving her.
So Dr. Jessie just opened her new practice, and 4 days of her brand new practice already covered her overhead. Hey, Dr. Joe, welcome. Dr. Joe, he has got to be a strong dude because he is in just like estrogen territory, because in the boot camp, as we all know, it's predominantly women. And Dr. Joe is a boot camp member. It doesn't mean you can't join if you're a dude. It just means that we're lots of chicks. So maybe he's like, woo, woo, woo. I will tell all of you this. And men, come in a little closer here because I have a message for you. If you want to learn how to attract more women into your practice, and let's all face it, the women make the majority of the healthcare decisions in your office, you may want to join the boot camp and get in on the chatter of what happens in the world of women, because we can help you. But let's talk about your week. What can a doc expect in your week of the boot camp?
I tried to go off some of the guidelines that we had talked about before. Dr. John Davila really gave, a few months ago, gave some really good advice on a Wednesday call, one of our Wednesday webinars. And so, I took a little bit of information that he had, and I just tried to break it down and make it seem not quite so daunting. Here's the thing that I've run into with people when they're talking about Medicare. Number one is they don't want to do Medicare because they're afraid of an audit. And number two, they're afraid of an audit because they don't know what to do. They don't know what the pieces are, and they don't know how quite to put them together. And so really what I did with that week of training is I tried to take the major pieces and explain them, and then try to, well, in my mind at least, I guess not everybody's mind probably works like mine, but I tried to just kind of lay them out step by step so that you understand. And I talk a lot about Medicare specifically because Medicare is kind of, I don't want to say the gold standard, but whatever Medicare does, the others kind of start following, and Blue Cross is really starting to following the same guidelines. So whatever Medicare does, and Blue Cross is really doing that now. If you can pass a Medicare audit, then you're going to be able to pass a Blue Cross audit, which is also happening. They're doing the same thing that Medicare's been doing, by the way. But if you can pass a Medicare audit, then you can pass a Blue Cross audit. So I just tried to kind of lay out the steps that are really necessary and the concepts that are absolutely necessary in order to get your documentation correct so that you can pass a Medicare audit.
Awesome. Yeah, and then you don't have to practice in fear.
No.
Like, never engage in something in your practice that you're going to be in fear. And I do want to just give a shout out to Dr. John Davila's program. I think he does an awesome job, and I've learned a ton from him and Dr. Jennifer. I had a couple calls with her, so they have an awesome program, and thanks to Dr. Chelsea for introducing us. It's fun to have your input on the situation because you've been there. Like, so it's not just theory. It's like, no, you don't understand.
Yeah.
I've lived through and have the battle wounds and have victoriously come through, and now to be able to practice without fear. So other things have changed in your practice too throughout this year. You want to talk about those?
Well, there's a lot of things that have changed. Which ones
Let's
exactly?
Start with, it's like Tim Grover talks about, right? There's no number one. They're all important.
Hey,
so
there's a lot of stuff.
Whichever one tops your mind right now. Let's start with that.
Well, one huge milestone that I reached was in February. I wrote my last payment and I officially own my practice, and I was able to buy my building. So I own the practice, I own my building, I pay myself rent now. So that was a huge milestone.
That's awesome. Yeah. So let me just stop somebody right here. Stop you. So here's Dr. Robin. She's going through this Medicare audit. Like, when we met, I remember sometimes when we were on the phone that day, I was like, hello, do you have a pulse? Hello. Like, she was so beaten down.
I was trying not to cry.
Yeah. And yet she was like, enough. Like, this is my line in the sand. So she overcame that, has grown her practice, and in the midst of it all, continued to work towards that Emerald City of now owning the building. So please know that there's nothing that has to stand in your way. Nothing at all. And making that determination in your life that nothing will stand in my way, regardless of what it is. I'll scale over it. And, that's why the boot camp is so awesome, because we do like this to each other. Like, I got you. Like, I can throw you up and over. I got you here. Whether it's I'm having a crummy day. I know someone posted in that today, and everyone's like right there. Like, we got you. It's all right. We've been here. And I love too that it's not just here, let me dry your tears. It's like, get those tears dried up, get your big girl panties on, and let's get to it.
Yep.
And let me ask you this. What do you think about that? Like, does it feel like, because I've had some people say, well, you guys aren't very sensitive. And I'm like, what's that even mean? We're not sensitive. Like, what should we be doing? Just sit around together and not work towards a solution? Like, what do you think about that?
Well, I'll tell you what, if I wanted somebody to be sensitive, I would go hang out with the people that are in my, I guess I call them my friends that I hang out with, but none of them have any kind of experience in doing the kind of things that I do. If I wanted somebody to wipe my tears and pour me a glass of wine and cry it out with me, I would go hang out with these people that are just going to go, oh, that's okay, honey. Everything's going to be okay. Well, you know what? That doesn't solve anything. I probably will be hungover the next day and still not solving anything. Right. So, but when you have this tribe of people that either have been in the same place or they understand what it is that you're talking about and they get it, we've all been there. We've all had those kind of days, and we understand what those kind of days are about. And to get somebody that has just had that kind of experience to be like, I know what that kind of a sucky day is like, but guess what? Crying about it's not going to change anything. Put on your big girl panties, still drink the glass of wine. It's still going to be okay to do that. Maybe or 2 or 3 and still probably have the hangover. But you know what? Here's what happens as these ladies learn this week. You show up hungover, and that's when you're going to get 10 new patients in that day because you weren't physically prepared for them.
That's funny. Yeah. And I was just thinking about Jason Dean posted something about, don't don't live in the past. And it doesn't mean that the past
Mm-hmm.
isn't important. And, you know, I'll give, I guess, a little bit of a personal example here. Like I remember, you know, for a long time, I just kept reliving all of the hell that my ex put me through between, you know, pretty much sleeping with every woman, her sister, not her sister, but, you know, like there was just a lot of that. I always said there was a lot of sex going on. It's just I wasn't there for it. And so I would talk about it and talk about it and talk about it as if I kept telling, you know, like if I talked about it, then it justified the wounds that I had.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember like I was doing I did a 16-day fast, and during that time, God was just kind of like, but you don't have to keep living it. Like,
No.
just because you don't talk about it doesn't mean it didn't happen. It doesn't mean it wasn't horrific. It just means you don't have to keep doing that. And it was almost like, I could have had a VA. Like, I could have lived better all these years. What's going on? And so I encourage anyone that is consistently living the worst thing that's ever happened to you, like, wake up. It's still horrible. It doesn't change your past, but be the person that looks back and go, huh, I kicked that one.
Yeah,
You know, like,
get past it. Use it as a stepping stone to raise you up. You know?
Yeah.
Before you know it, you're going to be on top of the mountain instead of under it.
Yeah. And then use it to serve other people. Use it to be able to say, like, I get it, sister. I've been through an audit. They suck. And this is how we're going to get over it together. And it's like, right on. Or all of the other things. Dr. Maddie said, we're about solutions. We help each other problem solve. I don't need a hug to problem solve but I love the virtual hugs we give each other when we have wins. Like, I couldn't have stated that better. So I'm going to have to state it again, Dr. Maddie. She said, we're about solutions. Amen, sister. We help each other problem solve. We don't need a hug. I don't need a hug to solve my business issue. But I love the virtual hugs we give each other when we have wins. Absolutely. And that was perfectly stated. Like, that thing isn't going to get me up and over. And thank you for doing that. But let's move on. So let's talk about as well sushi and how much we all love our boot camp tribe and the guy who brought us Cairo sushi. What do you think about Tristan Schaub?
Did you see his costume today?
I didn't. What did I miss? Please tell me.
Oh, you're going to have to get on his Facebook and you're going to have to check out his costume for the weekend.
I wonder if
I don't know. I'm so curious to meet this guy in person. I'm almost scared.
Oh my goodness. He is bigger than life, let me tell you. So obviously Tristan's one of our boot camp coaches. So all of you who are joining us right now, pop in your section in the comments and let's just love on Tristan. Like, that poor guy right now is getting ready for this huge production, and he still is answering phone calls to help people out, and he's still problem solving, and he's still getting ready. And oh my goodness, he is
a rock star. That guy does so much. I don't think he ever sleeps either.
I don't think he sleeps much because I'm way out here, and no matter when I call him, he answers. So Tristan, we love you. We so appreciate you, and we cannot wait for Cairo Sushi next weekend. So we can't like spell all of the beans about what's going to happen with the boot camp tribe, but let me just, Shauna says he's a machine. He is a machine. I agree. And are you excited? Did you see Cynthia's post today about Frank Sinatra?
Oh, yeah.
The box step? I'm in. So Cynthia, we're looking for a few dance lessons because I can do, like, you know, this kind of thing. That's about it.
I know how to two-step. I can't do much more than a two-step.
So I'm holding you to that. Have you gone two-step into the Toby Keith bar at the Toby Keith bar?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, that I can do all night.
Oh, well then we're gonna for sure go. All right, so boot campers, let's see. I think I'm not sure what night we'll squeeze it in, but we'll squeeze it in because it is all kinds of fun. And Mom, if you're watching this, so I have to tell you something funny. So I don't remember what Vegas trip it was, because we go there really often with Doctors Adam and Amanda, and Dr. Michelle got to go on the 10X trip that we did here in February. And so whatever trip it was, we've been going to Toby Keith, and we love the live music and stuff. And then we all decided to dance. Now, little did I know that my husband has quite the Western foot and is a great dancer. So we go out there, and he is spinning me all over the place. And I'm thinking, I'm pretty much a rock star right now. And if you don't know how to dance that way, but you dance with a dude who does, he's going to make you look like you pretty much, I don't know, what was it? Who was Fred Astaire's dancing partner? Ginger?
Ginger, I don't know, Ginger Rogers? I don't know.
Yeah, I think that was it.
Is that who it was?
Or something like that. But at any rate, Amanda and Adam were like, wow, you guys are such good dancers. And I'm like, to my husband, like, what's up? You've been hiding a secret from me all these years. So when we were just in Spokane with my parents, my dad has always been so sweet. And anytime music would come on when we were kids, he would walk over to my mom and say, may I have this dance? And then he would dance with her. My sister and I would be like, oh. And then he would ask us to dance, and we would start dancing. And he'd always whisper in my ear, who's leading? And I'm like, you are? And he's like, I'm not. Okay. But anyway, my mom and dad start dancing. And then I said to him, well, we should dance. And he's like, okay. And so we turn on the music, and he gets me going in there. And like, it's not like the floor isn't slippery. My mom is almost like peeing her pants, which is easy to do as an older woman, as you well know, as I well know. And my mom said that she videotaped it, which, mother, if you share that video, it's going to be bad. But we were laughing so hard. So all of that story to say, boot campers, we are dancing in Vegas. Whether we got 2 feet or not, we are dancing and celebrating all of the amazing things that all of you have been doing this past year. I'm so proud of you. And Dr. Robin, I cannot thank you enough Dr. Robin is like gift queen. How do you come up with all those? How do you find them?
Oh man, I don't know. Somebody else makes them. I just search for them, and then you just put the right word in.
That's the key, right? The right word.
Yeah.
I only come up with the same ones over and over again. It's quite boring. So what else do you want to say before we sign off today? What message do you really hope penetrates people's hearts as they're watching now or as they'll watch later?
Here's what I want a lot of doctors to consider. Not just new doctors, but just anybody that's afraid of Medicare. Please don't be afraid of Medicare, because if you're afraid of Medicare and you're not treating Medicare patients, there are so many Medicare patients out there that's the only way that they're going to get what we need, and they need it so, so badly. And as much as I tried to just get away from it and not treat the Medicare patients, I couldn't turn them away. You know, I get so many Medicare patients in because I love what it is that I offer them. And the only way that they're going to be able to pay for it is if we bill Medicare. So that's why, you know, actually for them, not even really for myself, for them is the reason why I kept pushing and got this thing right, is because these people need what we have for them. And, you know, if that means that we have to jump through the hoops to bill the Medicare, then that's what we're going to do. And I also want people to know that I guess as of kind of right now, I'm also officially starting a mock Medicare audit program, which means you can get a hold of me and I'm going to put you through the steps. I'm going to put you through the ringer. I'm going to run you through it. And if you can pass my mock Medicare audit, then you're going to be able to pass anything that they throw at you.
Boom. And so how do individuals get in touch with you about this incredible service that you're offering?
Mm-hmm. The easiest way to get a hold of me is to send me an email. You can find me on Facebook, but probably the easiest way to get a hold of me right now is with an email. My email address is docrobindc@hotmail. That's DOCROBINDC@hotmail. And send me a message and say, I want you to audit me. And so what I'm doing with that is the cost on that is going to include 60 days from the, as soon as you get a hold of me, I'm going to send you a letter that's going to look almost identical to what Medicare sends you when they are requesting documentation, so that you get a look at this thing and be like, oh my God, I don't even know what the heck they're talking about. So you're going to get a look at what that looks like. You're going to understand what everything is that you have to send into them. And then from that point, you have 30 days to get whatever documentation into me that's requested, because that's how a Medicare audit works. Once you get that letter, you have 30 days. So, if you can pass, like I said, pass this audit, if you were to ever get a letter from them, you're going to be like, all right, I got this. I can handle it. I know what's needed. That 30 days doesn't seem so daunting. So once I get that, then, we're going to have time I'm going to review it and discuss it with you and, let you make changes, and you can even resubmit it. But also during that time, over that 30 to 60 days, also what I'm offering is you get free reign of any questions. You can get a hold of my office manager during that time for any kind of billing questions that you want.
Wow.
Which is actually probably worth more money than any of you even realize. This woman has 40 years of experience. She's been through learning how to bill insurance. She's learned how to start on the computer. She's gone through Medicare, when they first started accepting chiropractic. And she went through this entire audit with me. She deals with insurance all day long. And for somebody that's just new and having questions and stuff, that kind of information and that kind of knowledge is golden. So the cost of that is going to be $4.99. Unless you're a boot camper, I'm going to knock $100 off of that, and it'll be $3.99. Another boot camp benefit for you. And that, like I said, that'll cover a 60-day period and include all of those things that I just talked about.
I love it. And I love that that there's a time thing. Like, you got 60 days. Like,
there's no messing around.
Dress rehearsal. Mm-hmm. This is get it on. Yep. So get your insurance muscles in shape. If you're going to do insurance, win. If you're going to do insurance, win. And Dr. Robin can help you. And then she teaches a week in the boot camp too, that is different than what this is. And this is, if you're having trouble with your insurance, my recommendation is get in touch with her, start there, get that part settled in your practice. And then, we'd love to have you in the boot camp. Of course, you can join at the same time, but get the insurance thing handled, please, please, please. And then you don't have to live in fear. So very cool. And I have that right? DOC Robin at Hotmail?
DOCROBINDC at Hotmail.
So don't use the other one, people. It won't work. And when we get off, you can pop it in the comment section.
Okay. Well,
so everyone can see it. All right. So this concludes another exciting Facebook Live interview with my pal, Dr. Robin. Thank you so much for joining me. And I will see you next week.
1 week. We're down to 1 week.
I know we've been talking about it for so long.
I
know. Yay. All right, everybody. Have a great evening. Dr. Robin, thanks so much.
Yes. Thank you.
See you later.